Hello, welcome. So welcome to the Thursday stream. I know there was rumor of me not doing a Thursday stream, but that was a rumor that I started, but hasn't come true or wasn't true. It was the intention, but it changed. So I am doing the Thursday streams. Contrary to what you might have heard, and what has changed is they're no longer at 5 o'clock. They are at random times when I feel to do the recording. Sorry, the stream. So that could be in the morning, more than likely afternoon, could be in the evening, more than likely afternoon time. So the best way to be notified is through subscribing and ticking doing the box thing, ticking and just saying to notify you when the channel goes live, and that way you can be informed. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah, so I made a couple of videos, but it just didn't feel right. Not right or wrong, but it just didn't feel right. Can't remember now, but the feeling was like, yeah, I think doing a live stream has something powerful in it, and yeah. So I just felt to do live instead of just the recordings. So here we are. Welcome. I have cancelled Zoom, so I'm not doing Zoom anymore. So you have to ask questions in the chat box, at least for the time being. And then if I decide to do a monthly Zoom or something, or do a monthly YouTube stream, maybe I could incorporate Zoom into that. I don't know yet, but that's kind of how it's going to be for the time being. Yeah. So the title is Non-Duality Stream, so I haven't got a specific title. So yeah. Just take a few moments to start speaking. Hi from Denmark. Greetings from Denmark. Hi. Thank you. So this is non-duality. What is being looked for? What is often being looked for by seeking energy? I don't know, but what is being looked for is what is happening. So we're often heavily identified with the mind and what the mind is saying, the narrations of the mind. And it's okay, we have a mind, we are human, we have this intellect, and these thoughts appear. It's part of being human with our brains. But what is being pointed out is that those stories, that narration, isn't, first of all, is narration, is story, and it isn't, therefore, it isn't what or who or what we are. It isn't truth. It's a narration appearing, a story appearing, thoughts appearing, ideas appearing, and they're equally valid. They're beautiful at times. They're creative. They aren't a problem. It's just that when, as humans grow and as the intellect gets more complicated and more complex, and there's been so much investment in it, then it can be a forgetting of what we are, a complete submersion in the thinking faculty, the thought faculty. And so, what non duality is pointing out is simply that the thinking, the thoughts are thoughts and they're valid, have a place, but there's something that is free beyond that function. There's something that is free beyond that. And as humans, we've forgotten that and we've completely lost that lost that lost that. We're so identified to the thinking that we've just lost that. In a way, we haven't lost it, but I mean, we've lost it. Like we've lost it. We're so identified to thinking that there needs to be this pointing out of that, this remembering of something else that isn't imbued or embroidered in the thinking. Actually, it really is that simple. It really is that simple. It's for a fool. A fool could grasp this. A fool could grasp this. And the reason why a fool could grasp this is because this isn't about an intellectual thing. So maybe somebody has a more of a stronger intellect, maybe that will be even more difficult because this isn't in that field. So maybe they've been trained for years and years, got PhD, masters, whatever degrees, and so they're used to finding answers in the thinking mind. And they're even more slick at using that faculty to sort maps out and ideas out, and so they're used to working in that way of working, whereas this is completely not in that way of working. So a fool could understand this. I mean, no one's really a fool. I just mean like somebody who doesn't have that strong intellectual flexibility or ability. Because I'm just trying to point out it isn't in that. It's something that is just free. It's so free. It's not something you can add on or work out. It's just free. It's just here. The birthright of all that appears. So it really is super simple. Super simple. But because of that, because of its simplicity, it's not interesting to the intellect, to the one who has that complex, super educated intellect. And in this society, we do value that. We value the complicated. We value the systems of the mind, the development of that. I keep not knowing if it's function or faculty. Probably the same thing. Yeah. Oh dear. I think it's really wonderful, the intellect. I think it's a really wonderful thing, thinking and thoughts. It's really creative. But suffering can come in that. That complexity of thinking. Because like all things, maybe it's to do with having a balance of intellect, but also not solely relying upon that. Having like a break from just thinking and having that space that's free of that. And it isn't really about being free of thinking or free of thoughts. It's just something, what we are is bigger than thought and bigger than thinking. So it's quite a narrow experience to be only like functioning through the thinking. And a lot of our problems and stresses and stuff come from only being operating through the thinking and the intellect. And so this is just a reminder, you could say a reminder that this experience, this what is appearing, what is happening, has the functioning of thoughts, of thinking, but isn't limited to that. That's an aspect, but it isn't the whole. And there's so many other things happening other than thinking. The bum on the seat, the hand on the legs, the back on the chair, the vision, the room, the door, the camera, the sounds of outside traffic, sounds of inside the house. And even saying that, outside traffic, inside the house, I mean, these are just descriptions. The sounds are appearing. We only know where they are and what they are through labeling them. Again, that's okay, but that's not the experience. That's thinking about the experience, thoughts around the experience. So this is it. Is this enough? Is what is happening enough? Or is there a need for something else or for more? Or maybe it's too much. Maybe there's a feeling of not being able to handle it, and it's too much. Wanting to remove or resist something. So this is where life happens. This is where everything is. Or you could say this is where nothing happens, this is where everything is. But often when that story is running in the mind, in the intellect, the story of time, then this doesn't feel like this is where everything is or where nothing is. It feels as if there is a time, and time is very real and very important, and you are on that treadmill of time. You're moving through time. And getting to that future, which never actually arrives. It's always moving toward, moving toward, moving toward. It makes this seems overlooked, and only the future, this forward focusing energy is important. And so when you hear non-duality, it's like this breaking through that, this remembering or this revealing of that which isn't bound up in that linear framework. Like a remembering of something that is free, like a child. It's just free. When you were a child, there was more. You didn't have the language to express it, maybe, but there was more of that and less of that linear experience. So beautiful, this pointing back to what is. Pointing back to what is. But there seems to also need to be this undoing of all those things that were taken on. So as the child grows and goes through different experiences, more and more things are added on and taken on, and the story deepens and it gets more complicated and all of these things. And so there's this pointing back to what is free of all of that, this emptiness, this presence, this what is. And then there can also need to be this undoing of some of the structures or the ideas that have been identified with and imbued and into, and like undoing. So you're welcome to ask any questions if you would like to in the chat. Just feel like this is such a beautiful subject. Such a beautiful subject. And if humanity needs anything, it needs this subject. You know, will we try to solve some of humanity's problems through politics and through doing certain things, but that's also needed as well for us to come together and communicate and talk and work things out. But I think it needs this subject. It needs this subject, and this subject needs to be there, and then the negotiations and the talking can happen, you know, with this subject as opposed to trying to do it without it, just with the intellect. I watched this lovely conversation a few months back, and the way they were having it was they were talking and then they were like pausing, like letting what's been said just sink in and process it, and holding what the person had said, giving both parties time just to hear that. And then when the person next to speak is ready and feels more balanced and more able to communicate, not from being triggered, but from more of a balanced place. Even saying, I feel triggered, I feel this, and then having more space. And then it's just, I think that's just the best way to communicate. I mean, it wasn't quite like that, but that to me feels like the best way to communicate. I'm in conflict with somebody at the moment, and luckily it's on written, and so there is that time to like step away from the computer and just take time to respond. I think it's really beautiful. But yeah, but yeah, this is it. This is it. This is what we are. This is what we are. Which is mad when we've been told we are a person, we are a human being, we are our name, our nationality, our culture, or whatever. And it's just not satisfying because that's not who we are. I mean, it is a part of us. It is who we are. In one hand, it's a part of us. It's our human experience. It has relevance and usefulness to have labels, identity labels. I mean, it's practical. It's beautiful. It's creative. It's wonderful on one level, but it's like it's not who we are. That's not what is experiencing. That's not what this is right here, right now. It isn't any of those things. And yet it is. This is. Without labeling it anything. It just is. And in this appears all the colours and the differences and the labels and the identities and the flavours and the experiences. But they only appear in this. They only appear as an expression of this. So you can work within that, and you can fix things and clarify things and heal things and deal with things and organize things, and that's part of being human, being a part of society and trying to improve society, improve the human experience. You can get a dishwasher to improve your home experience, for example. But without knowing who you are, you're always going to be trying to fix this and fix that and run around trying to make things better. But actually, knowing who you are, knowing what you are, is fundamental. And this is what non-duality is. It's this non-duality as in the speaking of non-duality. It's this attempt, this describing, this pointing out of duality. It's the describing and pointing out of what is happening. Pointing out the illusion of being a separate person. Not the illusion as in it's not a part of this, but pointing out the illusion of it. That it's not truth. It's not the way it is. I mean, that's so beautiful. What a celebration. It's not true. Doo-doo-doo. Sorry, that's a bit of a trumpet. Let's go to chat. The plants, yeah. God's will, cosmic law, my destiny, greeting, in God's will, cosmic law, my destiny. Okay, lovely to share. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this type of thing. Oh. Okay, lots of love. See you next time. Bye.